Yeah, 50 Cent, Sean Paul. G, Nick. They said they're ready, but I know for sure they're not ready. Go against the grain if for sure you gon'
get it.
get it. From hip hop, you drop, get dead it. Flee the crime scene, I forget it. When real boys pop off, they don't want credit. If niggas know you did it, then police know you did it. Whenever drama come, a real soldier gon' set it. If it's beef, get it. Big money, bet it. In your brain, let it.
Yes. Red Spider. It is the Castworthy Podcast. Back at you. I am Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine, joined this evening by EJ, the Sophisticated Savage. It is Sunday, August 16th. We got sidetracked as the VP's birthday, so we didn't have him for the morning, so kind of just let it roll out till we were free, and we got a late night pod in so we could get our episode in this week. We've been
Buffalo Vari.
Buffalo V. Buffalo V. What's going on, man? You did anything today, this weekend?
Watched the UFC bout last night. Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. I always fuck it up, but Stipe. And Stipe looked pretty clean, and Cormier looked a little, rusty. Some eye pokage going on, but all in all, I think it's done for DC.
Cormier decided. He said he was going to retire. No.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. He's what, 41 years old?
41.
Yeah. It's about that time.
Yeah. I'm wondering when they'll start to discuss CTE and UFC and boxing more, because them motherfuckers be getting lumped.
Yeah, the problem, or not the problem, but the thing is, I don't think we, aside from like the people that die, like the dude that died in the ring last year, I want to say it was last year in 2019, they don't tend to talk about it at all, because we don't hear about people having those long-term effects, aside from like Muhammad Ali, and maybe it's because they keep it under wraps or something like that, but we don't hear it. Like what other fighters have you heard them talk about having CTE issues, or just mental issues after boxing, major mental issues?
I mean, it hasn't been any recently that I know that are huge names. But guys like Arturo Gatti at one point, but he was killed, but I don't think they were even looking back then, so I don't know if they'd have been looking at him. But yeah, you're right. That's the thing. It's like you never really know if it is CTE until, unfortunately, a guy passes away. So a guy or a lady passes away. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we don't really get anything from these guys, mental health wise. But MMA fighters have been a string of guys in MMA recently, much lesser known guys. But like, I know it was one guy, Tank. I think his name is Tank, who like brutally beat up his girlfriend and suffered from mental health issues. But yeah, you never know.
I gotta assume we'll see it more with UFC than we do so much with boxing as UFC ages a little more, because these guys are getting kicked in the face and shit, knees in the face, elbows to the top of the head, like that shit hurts, man. And there's definitely going to be damage. I think if anybody, one of the first ones that we may see evidence of that and could potentially be like Chuck Liddell, because that nigga got knocked out a lot when he was fighting. So yeah, but they do need to they got to visit it. It has to be a talking point, and you know, the UFC is getting away right now because they're still fairly new and they're getting backyard fucking redneck brawlers and shit that are just trying to get a payday. So they're getting away with shit. I mean, look at the risks that they took during COVID, and even still,
Yeah,
like they fought through like the quarantine.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What
So
quarantine?
exactly.
And that's
Um,
that's the thing for me. People say UFC is killing boxing. Yo, let me know when MMA, especially UFC fighters, start to make boxing money, because even the lesser known boxers are making more than the stars. Like John Jones and Dana White going at it now because he ain't getting nothing next to
yeah,
what boxers get. So that's
yeah,
nuts, man.
and John Jones should definitely be getting paid. Well, I mean, he got to stay out of trouble, but yeah, he's a payday, man. Anytime there's a bones fight, it's a payday, especially if you have a contender, a decent contender that you could say might be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Floyd Mayweather shit. You know what I mean?
With McGregor.
With anybody,
Mm.
like you either watching it to see him win and stay undefeated, or you watching it to see him lose. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, I think, where John Bones is. People will watch it. They're gonna watch it to see him win, or they're gonna watch it to see him lose. You're either a fan, you love him, or you love to hate him.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying?
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I wish he would just stay out of trouble, man. That's all. Like,
Yeah, it's got, everybody got their thing. Excuse me. Everybody got their thing.
yeah, man. So, we got it. It's on the screen. The NBA playoffs are set to kick off tomorrow. Tomorrow night there's what you said, 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games tomorrow.
Four
Four
games
games
tomorrow.
tomorrow. They're,
Four
they're
games
playing
tomorrow.
every day this week, starting tomorrow.
That's crazy. So tomorrow is that Utah matchup, right?
Yep, Utah versus Denver, Nets versus Toronto, Mavs versus Clips, 76ers Celtics, Magic Bucks, Heat. No, I'm bugging. I'm sorry. Mavericks Clippers, 76ers Celtics, Nets Raptors, Jazz Nuggets.
So looking at it high level, you see anybody here, any of these games that could potentially be or series rather, not games, but series that could be upsets that we might see underdog. There's no home court advantage. Um, they're playing on a neutral grounds, so it's all no fans, so it's all talent.
I'm picking LeBron to lose first round to the Trailblazers.
Ooh,
Picking him to lose. I mean, I put 20 on it. So I mean, I'm I'm just going for it at this point. Even though if that actually happens, it'll be the most annoying thing in sports because it'll be all anyone is talking about ever. But the Lakers have looked terrible in the bubble.
they've been struggling, but in a 7-game series, and is it going 7-7 or is it going 5-7-7-7? Do you know?
I think if the Trailblazers are gonna win, they've got to close these guys out early. But you look at the Lakers and you got LeBron and Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis has been carrying this team, and LeBron just hasn't seemed like he's been in much rhythm. And he's 35 years old. He's still athletic, specimen, but just doesn't seem like he's been locked in. He's been complaining about not complaining, but saying, playing without fans makes a difference for him. He's kind of chimed in on saying, he's missed his family kind of thing. So I don't know if, he's locked in, I don't know if he's locked in. And Dame has been on some killer mode right about now.
He has. I'm wondering if he's, just trying to make the playoffs, if he hasn't overexerted himself and tired himself out. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I start to think about it, I know he's been like you said, on a tear, 50, 60-point games. It's going to take for Nurkic to wake up. And he's been hot too, but I mean, it's going to take for him to stay hot and really, he's going to have to be able to deal with Anthony Davis. And CJ McCollum is going to have to show up. Like, CJ McCollum has no choice but to, like, in the game against Memphis, the play-in game, he showed up in the fourth quarter heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're gonna need it. They're gonna need that. They're gonna need all of whatever Melo got left in the tank. Like, they gonna need it to get past the Lakers, regardless. Because once, LeBron, they've been looking like shit. But LeBron has that. He has that next level. Like that. He can turn it on. Like, he's one of those players that I know they say you can't turn it on and off, but he can turn it on. And with him turning it on can be as simple as, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna just go to the hole every time until we put him in foul trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's it. Maybe he won't be hitting his jump shots, but he can get dominant like that. AD is hot. And they're deep. The Lakers are deep, man. Kuzma can get hot. So, but beyond the big two, the Blazers got they kind of deep too, man. They deep. They just, their big one is not as big as their big two. No homo pause to the third power.
Sheesh.
I don't know. I don't know if the Blazers are gonna do it, man. I don't know if they could beat the Lakers, man. That's a tough task. I can see it. And is Westbrook out, or is he just out for? Because they were saying that he's out, but is he just out for the first series?
It's a hamstring strain of some kind. No, a thigh strain of some kind. They were saying there was kind of talks and reports of saying he's gonna miss like the first series, possibly. I think it's all BS. I don't see Russell Westbrook not playing. Especially versus Thunder first round. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think even without him playing, they beat the Thunder. But I think the Rockets can beat either one of those teams in 7, the Lakers or Portland.
Or Portland. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna require James Harden's gonna have to stay hot. He's gonna have to not become playoff James Harden, and Westbrook's gonna have to do what he does, man. It's just they're small, so I don't know who they're gonna put on AD, if it's AD or Nurkic for that matter. If it's Nurkic, and who's the they still got whatchamacallit over there, right? Don't they have Whiteside?
Yeah, Dwight Howard, and no, I'm tripping. LA, they got Dwight Howard. One of them guys got Whiteside.
I think Portland's got Whiteside too, and he just hasn't been burning because Nurkic been burning.
I might be. Yeah, I haven't followed. I can't remember. I can't recall off top. But the Rockets, they live and die by the 3. And if you watch the last few games where they've been cold behind the arc, they go cold, man. They D'Antoni is letting them fly. So it's just gonna be interesting. I think Utah could possibly put up a fight against Denver, but
I think they could. That my 2 picks, and you're gonna call me crazy, but my 2 picks for upset potential first round sleepers, deep sleeper, is the Jazz and the Magic.
The Magic?
The Magic.
The Magic?
I don't think they're going much further than that, but same thing for the Bucks. The Bucks have Giannis. They got Middleton, but Giannis can't shoot. You know what I mean? Man, listen. The Magic have been hot. They've been hot in the bubble. They're closer to home. I mean, they're still in the bubble, but they're closer to home. Like I said, it's a deep choice, and I think it's going to take a perfect storm. But I feel like the Bucks, they're young, and I think they could toss it away and lose it. I think they could. The other series that I see here, just going down the line, we'll stay in the West because we got through most of them. But the Clippers and Dallas, Doncic and your boy Porzingis, I don't foresee those guys getting past the Clippers. Kawhi, PG, those guys are hot.
Okay.
The Heat and the Pacers, even if the Heat win that, I don't see that as an upset. That's 4-5. You know what I mean?
Right.
The C's and the Sixers, I would say the Sixers might have had a shot if Simmons didn't get hurt, but it looks like they've been playing better without Simmons, which is kind of interesting.
That Celtics team is always interesting, and you know they don't make a lot of noise, but they get stuff done. It's gonna be a gritty series. We're gonna have to see what Embiid is doing because it's really gonna focus on Embiid right now. You know, Harris has been contributing and doing his thing, but that team really right now is gonna go through Embiid, especially with Simmons being out. So that'll be interesting. I mean, either way, I don't think either one of them are gonna beat the Raptors.
Right. Yeah. So looking at the Sixers and Boston, Boston, they're sleepers because at any time Jaylen Brown can get hot. Kemba Walker can become Kemba Walker of the fucking NCAA tournament at any time and go for 50 when needed. Al Horford's with the Sixers now, so he's a no. It doesn't matter on that team. But Jason Tatum's another one that any
And
night
Brown.
he can go for 40, 50 points. So
Tatum and Brown.
Yeah. And then you got Toronto. So Toronto, I mean, I don't see them.
I got Toronto coming out of the East.
Coming out the East, they look good, man.
They look disciplined.
Kyle Lowry looks the best that he's looked. I'm wondering if he's always just been playing a backseat to homeboy that they sent to San Antonio. Why can't I remember his name?
I can't think of his damn name either.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. I mean, he's a point guard, and he might have been one of those guys that's looking at like, I want to dish, I want to facilitate, whatever. But they are a disciplined team. They got ice in their veins, and they're just like, yo, we here. Like people talking about Kawhi this, Kawhi that. Nah, we about to show y'all.
Yeah, they got Siakam's nice and young. What's the other guy's name? Oh, they got another dude over there. Another shit, can't remember. But you still got Lowry over there. Marc Gasol plays for them, doesn't he? He's their 5. So they definitely have. They got some talent over there. They definitely have talent there, and they got
Fred Van Fleet. They got Chris
Powell. Norman Powell.
Norman Powell's another guy, but Chris Boucher. I'm fucking up names, but yeah, Fred Van Fleet has been killing them. They got some young guys, man, that are ready to step in and do their thing. And they got that championship pedigree, man. And Nick Nurse,
they got Mans over there.
Yeah. And Nick Nurse is coaching, man. He's coaching his ass off, man.
Yeah. So I think, so I can definitely see Toronto coming out of the East. If someone's gonna put up a fight for them,
it'll be Boston.
It's gonna be Boston, but that's early. That's like
it's gonna be first round. I mean, second round slobber knocker. Like old boy used to say.
the other side of the bracket, though, I can't the top of the East. I don't think the Bucks got it in them. The Heat have looked very good. They've looked very good. They got their white boys going. Tyler Heron or whatever, Hero. Duncan Robinson. They're 2 white boys. They going. They got Jimmy Butler over there. They got the big man. Bam Adebayo. So I mean, the only thing is, and Vari doesn't understand. They just don't have a coach. They got, they got a shitty
Damn,
ass coach.
you hate Eric Spoelstra, yo.
I don't like Spoelstra, bro.
You hate Spoelstra, but they say he's a damn good coach, man. They say he's a damn good coach. I was listening to can't think Fizdale on one of the podcasts today, just talking about how good Spoelstra was and how they pretty much, G check LeBron when he came in, like, yo, we don't allow people from outside the team in the locker rooms, dog. Like, nah.
I don't think that. I doubt that was Spoelstra. I mean, it might have been, but I would think that's probably Pat.
Nah, it was, they said it was D Wade, Haslam,
Oh, well,
kind of
yeah.
G checked them, but they saying like, Spoelstra set the tone for that whole team, and just how he made things run, how he just, was attention to detail and preparation, and they just said that, he did everything, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah.
So, so if you're looking at the West, who you got coming out the West? You said you got Toronto coming out the East.
Yeah, it's a goddamn good question. While I'm saying Portland could beat LA, I'm like you. I don't see it happening. I did put money on it just because somebody was talking crazy, but and then that series with them versus the Rockets. And let me tell you something, man. OKC, you don't think OKC has anything for them, but Chris Paul has been on a tear lately. Them guys have been balling. And like I said, if the Rockets live and die by that three and they get cold too often, it's gonna be something, man. I think you gotta go with it's gonna be tough to see the Clippers versus the Nuggets. I think that's gonna be that round. I think it's gonna be the Clippers versus the Lakers. And I have to say, I think I'll take the Clippers coming out of the West. I just don't. I don't. I want LeBron. I want the Lakers to be successful, honestly. But I just what I've been seeing, and you're 100% right. We used to call it that "let's go" juice. Like when you're down, you're tired. It's like, yo, we gotta get that "let's go" juice and get it going. And LeBron definitely has that. Man, it just been looking nasty. Like it just been looking nasty. Like he was just. It almost looked like he was mentally checked out. And I get I bust his chops, but it does make a difference, man. Like, this, playing for the crowd, playing for the intensity, it could make a difference, man. And who knows what's going on in his head, but it just looked nasty recently. If they go in, and that's another thing, you going into the playoffs with that bad momentum, that bad juju on you. I just if they get past Portland, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a dogfight. Then it only gets harder from there.
Yeah, I could see the Rockets sweeping potentially or getting out in 5. I could see the Lakers being taken to 7 and coming into that second round tired and dropping the first game to the Rockets and having to fight all the way up. And I think that's where the Clippers are going to have the advantage, because I feel like Clippers, while they're going to have some good series with Dallas, because I think Doncic and Porzingis will keep it close, but they're not going to win. And I do think Denver or Utah, either one of them really, can keep it close with the Clippers, but I also don't think they're going to win more than one game, maybe 2 tops against the Clippers. And I think the Clippers come in fresh, and Kawhi Leonard with fresh legs, he's a fucking animal, man. Like, I watched this guy play, and when I watch him, I'm just like, he can't shoot, but he can shoot. Because you just like, they don't talk about it. Like, they don't talk about him shooting. They don't talk about his 3-point shot. He is like he's like a sentinel. He's like a fucking project. Like, he was just like, he was built in a fucking
Lab.
in a laboratory, man. Like, Kawhi Leonard is a monster. And then same thing on defense and playmaking, and he's just a little bit of everything, man.
It's mid-range, man. But is it me or is it? And I felt this way for a long time. Is it me or is Paul George a little overrated?
Yeah.
he gets the numbers, but it just never really seems like he fully takes over a game. I
I
could
think
be tripping.
since his injury, and I know that's a cop out, but I think since his injury, he hasn't been doing the takeover thing. And obviously with the Clippers, when Kawhi's out, he does his thing, but he's not. It's never a night where you're like, oh man, fucking Paul George bailed out Kawhi on this one. Like it's
Yeah,
never it's never a night like that. Um, but I don't know if I'd call him overrated. It depends. I guess it depends where you rate him or where you hear people rating him. Like I don't hear a lot of people rating him way up there like he could be, like the big names that you hear. I don't hear him being put in the first tier with like LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi, Harden. Like I don't hear him in that tier when people talk about him a lot of times. But I think he fits perfectly in that second tier. I think he is in that second tier of players. You know, I think he's got a lot to prove still because he went to the Clippers. He left his team. He went to the Clippers, and he's been carried pretty much. Don't get me wrong. He does his numbers. He'll get you 30 here, 30 there, but he's not filling a stat sheet, and he's not making clutch stops and stuff like that. Like that's like, if anything, Melo is showing more clutch, at least since the bubble, and actually all year. If you look at the history of the year, Melo's been hitting a lot of big shots, more so than PG, and you would expect him to be doing that.
So who you got coming out the West?
I got the Clips coming out the West. I don't even think it's gonna be. I don't even think it's gonna be a conversation to be had. I think it's unfortunate, man. I think they're too deep. They are too fucking deep. Lou Williams gets hot. Patrick Beverly gets into LeBron's head and anybody else's head that they play against. Like it's a problem. That's the hardest part. Like LeBron's already talking about it's hard being away from my family and yada yada yada. All right, well now you're gonna have to go through a Dame Lillard who is in fucking kill mode right now. I mean, I already see the memes. I see the memes. The first meme they're gonna put up is the fucking Killmonger. Is this your king? I'm telling you, if Dame Lillard fucking wins, watch for it. That's a meme. That's a meme. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it myself.
No question. No question.
But he already he's gonna have to go through Dame, who's hot, who's fire right now. Then most likely he's gonna be in a dogfight with Harden, probably getting frustrated because Harden's getting calls. And Russ, if Russ is back and running through them niggas and talking trash, because Russ don't back down from nobody. So you're gonna have to deal with those two teams first, and then you're gonna get into a major fight with the Clippers, where you have to deal with Patrick Beverly, who's gonna be in LeBron's ear, probably talking about Savannah at home getting smashed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's Pat Beverly. Like he's the what's the other cat that used to be like that from the Pacers?
From the Pacers?
Yeah. The dude that blew in LeBron's ear.
You talking about not Kevin Garnett?
No.
You talking about I'm bugging. From Brooklyn. Damn. Shit, Lance Stevenson.
Yeah. Pat Beverly is he's that. And then you got
I'm thinking Melo and the Cheerios.
Yeah, you got that too. Yeah. But that's the thing, man. The Clippers are deep. They're deep. They got Lou Williams over there. They got Pat Beverly over there who can make plays. Austin Rivers is not there. He's in Dallas. No, he's where the fuck is he?
Austin Rivers
He's in Houston. He's in Houston.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson. I mean, you got a couple different guys there. A lot of these teams seem to be front loaded. Yeah, they got Joakim Noah as one of their biggest guys and Harrell. But a lot of these teams seem to be front loaded, man. Like A
Is
lot.
Montrez in the bubble? Did he come back, or did he come? Pause.
I don't know.
Because Montrez, he's a difference maker too, man. Montrez can actually slow down. Remember, they played what? So they opened up the bubble series or part 2 with the Lakers, and the Lakers squeaked it out, but they didn't have Lou Williams, the Clippers. They didn't have Lou Williams, and they didn't have Montrezl Harrell that night, and the Lakers had squeaked it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say to your point of depth, Houston definitely has. Once you pass the starting 5, they definitely got more depth. But a lot of it's crazy. A lot of these teams seem to be really front loaded. You know, once you get past 4 or 5, it's kind of like it's not like the '90s, man, where you had dudes coming off the bench that was killers. You know what I'm saying? It just seems different these days.
Yeah, even the 2000s, I mean, think about them Lakers teams that Kobe, you know what I mean, that Kobe was on, Kobe and Shaq, and like they had depth. The Heat, even the bum ass Heat,
Say it again.
that at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were loaded, but one way or another, even if the Lakers don't win it this year, I think they win it next year. Without even seeing what happens, they win it next year because
I think this is the year they gotta win. I think this is the year they gotta win.
Because remember next year they got mega cap opening up, so they're gonna. So right now they're kind of playing with a little bit of money that they had, and they brought in some guys. Next year they're gonna have enough if they want. They can bring another big guy in, a fucking Devin Booker.
A Devin Book, yeah, Devin Booker is a
Bruh.
Lakers fan.
Bruh. Imagine, you know what? I won't even watch basketball if that happens, yo.
Devin Booker, LeBron, AD.
And then they're gonna get some veterans. So they'll get some vets that take the veteran minimum. Listen,
I just think
they could probably get a Horford. Horford will be on a fucking veterans minimum. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get a ring, he ain't never get one. Like, yo,
be crushing blow for them to lose this year, but I agree with you. I see LeBron coming back again, loading up, going nuts with it. It's gonna be crazy, man. The NBA is something different, man. It's definitely something different.
So let's real quick. Let's go through they did bubble awards this year.
Mm-hmm.
NBA bubble awards. Dame Lillard got MVP.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. If you're talking about most valuable player to your team, shit to the whole bubble. I mean, this dude has just been highlight and headline after headline. It's been nuts.
So I think Devin Booker should have got it. The Suns went. Now they didn't make the playoffs, and I think that's why he didn't get it from whoever voted. But they went undefeated in the bubble,
which is fucking nuts.
Right? They went undefeated in the bubble, and it's unfortunate they were so far back. But I mean, imagine if they could have gotten in, they might have been able to do something.
Yeah, they went undefeated. That is true. Dame got 22 media voters for the MVP. Devin Booker had 19.
Yeah. Now I see why people would give it to Dame Lillard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like that there's no possible way that I understand that, but I feel me personally, I would have, if I had the vote, I would have voted Booker first and then Dame would have been second for me. That's again just me.
No, I could see that going either way. And these guys went 8-0 and they couldn't even get in. That's crazy.
So Devin Booker averaged 31 points in the bubble.
I think so. Lillard averaged 37.6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, my man was wild.
He went crazy.
My man was wilding.
So Monty Williams, Phoenix Suns, got best coach in the bubble.
Shout out to him.
8-0. So yeah, definitely he definitely deserving. First team was Dame Lillard at point guard, Booker at 2 guard, TJ Warren. at the three, who was hot. Luca and James Harden,
The beard.
the beard.
The beard.
So I think that's not bad. That's not
Yep.
bad. What else did they go through? Breakout player was Gary Trent. He was hot. He got
Yep.
hot, and that's another one we didn't talk about. But in that Lakers series, he's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to D him down. Pause. And I'm thinking it's gonna be LeBron, and that can make LeBron go in there without, and get his legs tired on the defensive end, right? So now you got, if Gary Trent can come out hot, Lillard's gonna be hot, right? So who's gonna D Lillard?
Shit.
Rondo?
Is Rondo coming back?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he had surgery. So,
Kuz, maybe. Maybe
Yeah.
Kuz. They might put maybe Kuz, Caldwell Pope. They might put on him.
right.
I know
So-
Caldwell Pope is like one of their
So the better question is, who's getting torched by Lillard?
Caldwell Pope.
Yeah. And so you got to worry about that. Then so LeBron can't take a possession off on the defensive end with that team, like he's been able to do with other teams, because you got 5 solid guys. Like if I'm the Blazers, I'm coming in big, and I'm going Lillard, McCollum, Trent, and then I'm coming with Nurkic and fucking Whiteside.
You know,
Or
Melo.
yeah, and also that's the other thing I was gonna say. Maybe I put Melo at the 4, come with Nurkic, and then when you take Anthony Davis out, I'm gonna have a fresh Whiteside in there beating up on fucking Dwight Howard. Listen, man, Portland might, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. They might do something.
Listen, man, and then and I continue to be critical of this guy, Carmelo Anthony. This guy, when he was playing for the Knicks, not clearly you wasn't the same guy. Clearly, wasn't in shape seemingly. Clearly heavier than you are now, and he's just reinvigorated. So then you got to ask yourself, what Melo shows up? If this guy Melo is remotely anything what he's been this season, you might have to get some LeBron Melo action.
Kuzma can't D Melo.
Hell
Like,
no.
Not on the block. Like Melo
Hell
gonna hit him.
no. Bully
Melo
ball.
gonna hit him with that shoulder shake.
That bully ball.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and not only that, it's like, okay, Melo is seemingly in a whole different mental space. So do we even get Melo on LeBron? Do we get 02, 03, 04 action again? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's because Lala been giving him that whop again. That's why. Well, not now in the bubble, but they back together.
Listen, man, she's been doing her acting career and fucking on screen every time she can.
So imagine. She get home, he like, listen.
I don't know, man. I feel like maybe he's just focusing on, let me reinvigorate my career. You do what you do. Like,
oh, that's what it is.
That's what I'm thinking. Cause I mean, it's like, yo, and I was thinking about this is off topic, but on topic. Yo, I don't know that I could allow my lady to be acting smashing on screen, dog.
Not never mind. I'm not even gonna say that. But yes, you might you got listen, that check better be nice. The check better be nice.
Okay, here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. It's two schools of thought. And Buffalo Vari would say, she can do her own thing. She's an actor. She wants to make her own way. Listen, the bread really isn't an issue, right? Sure, she's no slouch. She was an MTV VJ. She made her name. You've done some acting. You got some chops under you, Of course, you're trying to further your career. But who am I to be like, oh, you should turn down the sex scenes and all that kind of shit? It's just, I don't know. It's just weird to me because you see her in these roles, and she's getting banged out on camera like you're a whole married woman with kids. Like I
Most actresses are married women with kids, EJ.
No, it's a lot of young ones out here single, mingling,
They're okay, but
doing their thing.
I guarantee they all got significant others. Listen,
They ain't mellow though.
you know, fuck.
Huh?
Listen, if the check is right,
Biggie
I need
there.
to know. I might need to know the setup. I might need to be on set. Like, yo, let me know when y'all filming that scene. I'm on set. Like, I
Biggie
need to know.
there.
Yeah, I need to know that he got on he got on briefs. On top of the briefs, I want him to have bicycle shorts. Like,
I don't
then I
know,
want him to
man.
have jean shorts. And y'all gonna have a blanket and a pillow in between y'all while y'all acting that shit out.
I don't know, man, because I don't. So I got a confession. I don't watch The Shy, right? But when somebody goes on Facebook to be like, it was a sex scene, especially if it's Lala, I go find it. And
Oh yeah,
that joint was pretty close, man. My man had the bare cheeks. They was kissing all crazy. I don't know, man.
yeah, Lala, man. Listen,
I couldn't do it.
but I mean, it's mellow. It's mellow.
Shit.
So if
Still
you think
mad.
about, listen, mellow is or not mellow. Lala is fine to us. You know what I'm saying? But to mellow,
It's just
she
like
fine, but he probably got. Listen, you know the saying: "Show me a chick, and I'll show you somebody that's tired of it."
Mhm.
That's not the exact verbatim, but
Right.
you get where I'm going with it.
Absolutely.
He's had it. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he's not like the everyday Joe like me and you, where like we would have to go out and work to get some new. You know what I'm saying? Like actually put in work and fucking spit game and do whatever it takes. Like if we had to. But for him, he's a fucking basketball player. You know what I'm saying? All he got to do is show up and be like, "Yo, I'm mellow."
Mellow, stay mellow.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I was gonna say,
Take a quick flight to Brazil. Forget all about Lala.
yeah.
Lala who?
¿Qué? ¿Por qué?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. Lala who?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it's a crazy dynamic. And I don't know, I just keep thinking about the Cheerios, man. I just keep thinking about the Cheerios.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett is a wild boy for that one, man.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett's crazy. So Michael Porter Jr. got best rookie in the bubble, and he was balling. He was balling.
Came out of nowhere with it.
Yeah. A lot of people were expecting that, and I think that's all the. So that was all the awards that they gave out for the bubble. I do look forward to this NBA playoffs, looking at the seeding and knowing that these guys there's no travel time. They should be able to get any treatment they need fairly quickly right after the game. They ain't getting no pussy. There ain't no yeah, somebody's getting snuck in there. There ain't no groupies, like ain't no clubs, ain't no partying. Like they should be putting their best foot forward, and I look forward to it, man. I think this is gonna be a really good one.
Who you got winning it all?
My gut tells me the Clippers, man.
Yeah.
My gut's telling me the Clippers, man.
Doc Rivers. I don't. You know what? And this is another thing. Doc Rivers is also another factor in this. While he's always been critically acclaimed and hailed as a great coach, I think he's made a lot of blunders in recent times. Even when his son was still playing for him, and they would play the Warriors, and Austin would go in there, drop buckets, guard Steph. This motherfucker will take him out. I'm like, yo, that shit used to drive me crazy. So Doc and his rotations and his choices, there's gonna be something to see. I'm going with Toronto, man. I'm going with Toronto.
Oof, back to back.
Yeah, back to back for Drake. Going with Toronto. They gonna win again in the 6, man.
We can't afford Toronto winning again, man. We gotta bring the trophy back to America.
Hey,
America.
right now, shit, I don't think we deserve that shit.
Yeah, right. We probably wouldn't get the trophy anyway. The borders is locked.
You know what I mean?
They're not letting us in there.
I don't think we deserve that shit. No way.
Yeah, man. So I don't know about you. Like no preseason got us what 2.5 weeks away from football?
A month.
From football starting?
Yes. Week 1.
So week 1 is what?
September something.
Yeah, I don't even think we're a month away. I think we're within a month at this point.
It's September 9th. September 10th is the first game. I believe that's a Thursday game. And then Sunday,
Yeah.
September 13th.
Okay, so yeah, we're right about a month away.
Yeah, man.
Right
Shit, I'm going through it right now. You know, this NBA stuff is cool and all, but you know, I need that fix. You know what I'm saying?
But the NBA is gonna hold us right over. It's gonna take us right into it, which is fucking perfect. This is like we usually have that opening in between NBA ending in June-ish. And then we're sitting here with fucking golf on Sundays on NBC. And I'm sitting there watching fucking John Rahm and betting on fucking golf. And now we're gonna have actual sports and baseball, of course. So we'll have baseball and basketball taking us straight into football, and yeah, it's gonna be great if football can, if the NFL can keep it together. Now we haven't heard too many instances of COVID at this point so far.
I was just gonna say that. All of that shit we've been talking in the chat, this and that. It seemingly has been individual teams, individual players, not individual teams, but individual players in specific teams, i.e., anything in Miami, you know, have been fouling up, and camp has started. You know, these guys are juiced; they're ready to go. You know, I'm following my team. I'm seeing, like you said, off camera, off air, OBJ making one-handed catches, doing his thing. You know, these guys are seemingly focused and they're ready to go.
And even baseball, the cases have been pretty quiet since that first win. And I mean, obviously, now the other part is, is the NFL just really paying to keep that shit super quiet? And is it just not getting out there? Is the other question.
Well, you see Seattle cut, you know, a young corner for trying to sneak some chick into the team hotel. So I mean, and they're taking daily precautions. They're, you know, they're serious about this stuff, and each team is doing it. And you got to think about it, right? They're if ever was a time to protect their investment, now is it. You know, I'm not letting you get no COVID. Stay your ass in the hotel or wherever you gotta go, and that's that. You know, and cats are taking the sacrifice. So, like I've been saying, man, they gonna get it on. They gonna get it on.
There's 4 things in life undefeated: Father Time, Floyd Mayweather, the 72 Dolphins, and the last but not least, the vagina.
The vagina. And in Texas.
And taxes. Well, and death, yeah. But this dude risked it all. Like, you a rookie, you at camp, you gonna risk it to try and sneak a chick into the hotel? Like, and not only that, you the dumbest motherfucker to try and sneak her in dressed as a player. She probably 5'2". Like, the first thing anybody's thinking is, oh, who is that? You know what I'm saying?
It's nuts, man. But you know, I believe he probably succumbed to the pressure. She's like, I can't miss you. I can't take this, and it had to be, man. Had to be.
Yeah, my bank account is more important than you missing me.
Okay.
That's how that conversation goes. Um, but yeah, man, just kind of keeping to where we were before talking about him is the NFL hasn't had too many COVID cases. They've had some individuals who came out. Doug Peterson was positive,
Mm-hmm.
coach of Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, couple scattered individuals here and there, but no like big 5, 10, 15 people to a team, which you would expect unless they're playing no contact in camp right now. You know what I mean? And maybe they're just running drills and conditioning drills. Because running conditioning drills, obviously, we've seen in the last few years so many no contact injuries. With knees blowing out and shit like that. Maybe they decided, all right, let's focus on this right now, and we'll get into some contact shit later on. Hard Knocks started last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
didn't see the episode. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Nah, I didn't watch it, but they're so right now they're operating like regular camp. They're not in shells yet, meaning they're not in um shoulder pads just
Ads.
yet. They're they're lining up. They're doing 7-on-7s. They're doing work. They're doing exactly what you would expect them to be doing in camp so far. So I just think that we have underestimated the NFL's ability and these teams' desire to want to get football going. Like it's just
Or
it's
really
that simple.
just the player's passion. Like, I think we have lost sight of the player's passion for the game, and we just assume that they would be irresponsible, and not keeping their families safe. That maybe they have their wives or girlfriends out at fucking Walmart, and then they're going home and potentially coming in contact and bringing it back to the team. But I think that's what we underestimated, and I feel like these guys obviously they're taking it serious.
I mean, I know, and I've been saying it again and again that football players are a different breed. Obviously, I've been one. And in most times in camp anyway, you don't typically, especially when camp starts, you don't typically make a lot of contact with your family. The vets, the older guys that got wives and kids, they'll go home, shit like that. After some days. But when you're talking about camp and you're talking about guys really being serious and really trying to do stuff, you might have a couple of guys that might go to the clubs and get drunk during camp and have to do Georgia rolls and throw it up the next day. But with this shit going on, I'm pretty sure these teams are making it very clear that this is your ass. If you fuck this up, this is your ass. And Seahawks cutting this guy is showing a clear message like, yo, we need this TV money. We need this shit to play.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think so I've been, I follow a bunch of players on like Instagram and shit like that. And I haven't even seen motherfuckers posting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times in regular seasons, not in pandemics and shit, you see them posting being out at places, not like clubs and bars and shit, but just out like doing shit. And
Mhm.
I haven't even seen that. You know what I mean? So I think they really obviously they understand the severity of it. And maybe behind the closed doors and what we don't know and what doesn't come out is, there might be some stiff penalties behind you going out and being irresponsible and making piss poor decisions, like this rookie that just got cut.
Yeah, and to get cut for that, that has to be that has to have been something worked out to where the team has made it explicitly clear that if you're signing off on this could happen because it's not a contract violation, in any kind of way. It's not an NFL conduct violation. So yeah, I mean, again, man, people underestimate the discipline, the mental toughness that it takes to be an athlete overall, but specifically football, something as grueling as it is a football that's physically demanding on you. It's just like with boxers, and they go away to camps and train, in Big Bear for 6 months away from their family. A lot of people don't really see this stuff, and that's another reason why when people are talking about guys boycotting and not playing, like, yo, do you know what goes into this? This is something that dudes have been working on their entire lives. It's a dream. It's a childhood dream. It's a check. It's a way of living. These dudes is not playing, man. They're not. And it just makes you look at some of the guys that have opted out. Some guys say they have young kids, but it was like we were looking at the dude in who was that, Tampa? Was it Marquise Goodwin? That was a good one that said he was opting out.
No, that was a good one for San Fran that opted out. So the one in Tampa, Godwin, he did not opt out, but the one in San Fran did.
Who was the working out with the kid that we saw the video where they were working out? They were both wide receivers. I can't think, but I mean that shit boggled my mind. He was basically having camp activities and tight practice, and then you're opting out. It's just.
Oh, it was him. Yeah, it was Marquise Goodwin.
Okay,
from San Fran. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just weird to me in that sense because you're still doing workout type shit, but I also think that people opting out is a potential contract move. CJ Mosley opts out. He still gets his $10 million. He now gets another year for the Jets. This man ain't played but one game in 2 seasons. One game in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think he's like 29 or maybe 30 next year. The Jets can't cut him without cap penalty until the following year. So you basically secured a bag for the next year. So I don't.
There haven't been any real stars that opted out though for the NFL.
CJ Mosley was the biggest one, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, like big, like no quarterbacks, no running backs, no wide receivers, like none of the big
good
position players. Yeah, I'm not.
You saying no big stars at wide receiver?
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, but there's other young kids over there that can do his job, and then they got George Kittle. So I mean, they got opportunities over there. But I mean, like studs, like we haven't seen it. We have not seen it, and I'm interested to see as they get into some more of these drills and they get into the contact drills and things of that nature. Do we start to see these COVID cases increase? And if not, our motherfucker's gonna backpedal and be like, "Hey, we were fucking wrong."
I mean, you got to think about it. Like I said again, these dudes are in camp right now. While they don't have shells or full pads, they're lining up. They're doing 7-on-7s. They're covering each other. They're doing the drills. They're rushing in. They're working on technique. They're having contact with one another. So it's like adding pads and tackling ain't going far as we know with this virus shouldn't make that much more of a difference because they're making contact with one another right now. They're not in full physical contact, like as far as hitting, but they're in contact with each other. So we're not seeing it come up now. The only way that I can imagine that we would see it is if somebody exposes them to the virus and then they spread it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a huge difference when they get into the full contact and hitting, but I think there's more risk of droplets at that point. Because you're going to be winded, and body fluids are going to fly. Like cats is going to get hit, fluids is going to fly, whether it be from your mouth, from your nose, like fluids are going to fly. And not only that, right now they're contained. That's our biggest thing. You're fully contained. Like Tampa is in Tampa. They're fully contained. New York is in New York, and so on, right? Once they get to the traveling, is that where we start to see it? And they should have team planes and everything. So hopefully not. The biggest thing is going to be keeping the staff, the members that work for these teams secure as well, secure and safe, because I say it all the time. I don't trust nobody because everybody cuts corners, like in life. Like if I cut corners at work, you cut corners at work, pilots cut corners at work. Like everybody cuts corners. You know what I'm saying? So, and surely the person that's making 50,000, and that's a stretch, to clean a hotel room where football players are staying, is gonna be fucking cutting corners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, if you look back to the video today with OBJ making a one-handed catch, this dude is getting covered one-on-one the entire time. It ain't no difference. It ain't no real difference. The only thing is, you're not getting tackled, but I'm in your face on the line. I done tried to give you the bump and run. You sweating. Tried to give you the bump and run. Sheesh.
Listen, whatever you like, man. Whatever you like. I mean, it is OBJ you were talking about.
Oh, that's right. That's nasty. So I just think, man, and they're gonna be doing the daily testing. I just think, man, people really didn't want this to work. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people out here that still don't want to watch the NFL, that still don't support the NFL, and they really don't want this to work. They don't, and I understand, in the country today and everything that's going on, people already didn't think football was valued or essential thing, and in a lot of ways it's not. But I mean, if this shit is working, if they're not coming up with nothing, why not?
Yeah. So I think that's part of it. I think it's there's those that didn't want it to happen, but I think you had the ones that wanted it to happen but just wanted to be right. I mean, and I think it's just people that are extremely concerned with the whole COVID shit. It's a difficult time, man. It's a difficult time, and if you're super concerned with the safety of people and how things are being handled, the only thing that can come from football happening and nobody getting sick is people underestimating this shit even further and being out doing shit that they shouldn't be doing. And so I think that's possibly part of what people were thinking as well. But I hope it all pans out, because I don't know if I could do without football, man. That's a tough task. It's hard enough. It's hard enough going in between seasons, like from January to August, September. It's hard enough to do that. So I'm not about that life, man.
I'm not with it at all.
They got to keep it together. Plus, I got to talk shit. I got to win fantasy leagues. There's money to be made.
Football is a reprieve, man. It's just a reprieve from everything, man. And if you value sports and you enjoy sports, what better venue is it to watch a league? 75% of this league, 75 to 80% of this league are black males.
Yeah, I mean, with the way our society is right now, I'm okay with seeing black people on TV a lot, every Sunday, every Monday, every Thursday. I'm all for it. It's needed. It's necessary.
Yeah.
It's needed and it's necessary. And it brings people together. I mean, we're fucking so divided as a nation right now. White people hate black people. Black people hate white people. You know what I mean? It's like the people in between don't know what they want to do. Spanish people don't know if they want to ride with Trump or they want to ride with us. Asians don't know what the fuck they want to do. Like, shit is so fucked up right now. Football brings people together, man. Fantasy football, rooting for a team. When you're fucking a fan of a team, you're a fan of a team. You see somebody in the Cowboys jersey. Well, I see somebody in the Cowboys jersey. You see somebody in the Jets jersey. You big them up on Sunday. Yo, we're going to win today, right? Open conversation with a person that you have never seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter if they're white. Don't matter if they're Asian. Don't matter if they're fucking racist. You don't know if they're racist because all they got on right now is green. They don't got no Confederate flag on. For me, all they got on is a star.
No,
they could be extremely racist, but guess what? They see that star and they fucking talk to me. They'd be like, man, fuck black people. They see me in a fucking Cowboys jersey. Yo, we're gonna win Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah.
Right.
No, it's funny you say that because I was just talking to my man, me and my man Jamal were here recording one day, and Jamar and I worked together like 2008. I left that job, and I think he left at some point. Didn't see him probably to like 2012 or something like that, when we used to have a Jets bar down here. And it's funny because New Yorkers, like, we could be working with each other or whatever. Like up north, I'm not gonna say just New Yorkers, but up north people, like, I don't really know this dude. I don't really fuck with him like that. Like, we had to really work with each other directly, so I ain't have to really get to know him. But we just kept kind of cool. But it wasn't until years later I see him at the Jets bar. He's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, suffering like you. What you think?" You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, we've been extremely close, like inseparable. So it's like, football definitely, it brings people together. And again, if we're talking about being pro black, we're talking about black magic and all of that. You got 80% of this league is employed and employing black men.
Yep.
You can say whatever you want about dudes being slaves to the contracts, whatever, whatever. Motherfucker, if you work for the federal government, your boss is Trump. I don't hear that shit. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's and it's a stage. Like the NFL is a stage. So people that need to get a message out, and there's for sure there's gonna be messages. The NBA did it. Baseball players did it. MLB players did it. NFL players are gonna make a fucking stance. They're gonna take a stance. They're gonna take a knee. They're going to get a message out. And with election day coming and the importance of this election, trust me, we cannot do without football. It's a huge part. They're going to get a message out that we need to get out there.
And people also underestimate how much these dudes do off the field. A lot of these guys are in the community, giving back to their hometowns, to their communities.
Sure.
They're putting on. A lot of these guys are putting on, and we
Sure.
don't even know about it. And football has created a lane for a cat that may not have ever educationally or academically succeeded and gotten to be a doctor. Now he gets to live his dream. Now he gets to feed families. Now he gets to feed his family. So it is a big deal. It's important. It is important. It truly is. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Looks like there's going to be no college football.
Mm.
I know that's going to kill you. I can live without college football because I live without it now. I don't really watch it. I watch it, here and there if I ain't doing shit else, but it's not my focus. I'm not a huge college fan. I might watch big games like when FSU plays Miami. I might watch that game and shit like that, but I'm not checking for fucking Alabama, or I'm not checking for Georgia, like, and those are big names. I know they're big name schools and shit in college football, but I'm not checking for them. Like, I'm not there for that.
It's funny to me because while they're canceling football, students are returning to school. Some universities are giving students options. Are you going to do your first semester virtually? Are you going to be on campus? And students are returning. So if students can return to school, I can see why guys will be like, well, why can't we play? If you also look at it too, a lot of the schools that have opted out, they're blue states. Many of them are blue states. So a lot of this stuff is political. You see the SEC teams, a lot of them are Bible Belt states, people that, Trump supporters that don't believe this thing is real. So it's kind of weird. It's a touchy subject. I totally feel bad for a lot of these young men that want to get it on and play, because a lot of them were banking on this being their financial future. Look, if they said, you as a med school student, if they said, hey, you couldn't do your practicum, you couldn't do your residency because of COVID, and this is going to impact you potentially going to be a medical doctor, a medical surgeon in a year, you'd be pissed too. You'd be pissed off. I mean, of course, it's apples and oranges to some degree. But again, these guys are trying to, chase their dreams, and they're not getting that opportunity, which could ultimately impact one cat from making peanuts, stipend checks, to wearing team uniforms and team garb every day, to getting $10 million signing bonus. You know what I'm saying? We talking about millions on the line. This is big business. It's bigger than Nino Brown.
Not only that, but what about the people that, or what about the seniors? Like, how does it impact them? Like for that, the ones that were, and I think you were getting at that, but the ones that were poised to show this year, hey, I'm ready, and their eligibility and things of that nature. What's that gonna look like? That's a major concern to me if I am a college player, or a family member or parent of one of these kids, like one of these kids that have, like you said, put their life into football, put their blood, sweat, and tears since a child. And it can potentially be impacted by a virus. And you know, I'm okay. Like I'm good with college football not happening. And I'm good with it, but I'm good with it specifically for the safety of the kids. While sure they're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, they're still fucking kids and they're not being paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Like the NFL, these players are being paid. The NBA, they're being paid. The MLB, they're being paid. But these kids are going to go out there and risk their safety and their health without knowing the long-term effects that could come from COVID. And they may not even make it to that next level. You know what I mean? There's the percentage that does make it is so slight and so small that you could potentially go on and live the exact same life without football this year as you would with this football. Now, with football this year. Now, sure, there could be a few of them that have, not a few, a good portion of them that that make it to that next level and could have large contacts and be good for the rest of their life. But they're not being paid for it, and not being paid for it, I'm good. Like I don't even know if I would want my kid doing it.
Here's the thing, though, right? Again, speaking from a former college football player's perspective, when I was in school, it was about that time when Corey Stringer passed away, and I remember when we started having all of the different protocols as far as working out, as far as how much time we could be out in the sun. It was a lot of literature out there just talking about how every collision that you might have is similar to being in a car crash going 60 miles an hour. Despite knowing all of that, we still played. And like I keep telling people, football players are different breeds of animals. We know the risks. We know that, hey, I'm playing this game. I could fuck around, get CTE. I could fuck around, never walk the same. It's guys coaches that I've seen that walk with permanent limps because you know how they got hit once. My coach in college, God rest his soul, Coach Levan, this dude, I think it was Eric Campbell, he said he tried to tackle one of them guys that messed his neck up to the point where he literally had to turn like that. He couldn't turn his neck. He literally had to turn each direction. So, dudes know the risk. You know what I'm saying? And the risk is imminent without COVID. So you talking to guys that, when you talking about running through a brick wall, that is the epitome of what a football player thinks. They don't give a shit about that. You're like, I can get COVID and still not be great. Let me be great. Let me get this contract. Let me see what's up. And then, if I'm thinking about it too, if I'm already still on campus, I might get COVID just going to class.
True. That's true. That's a whole nother fucking issue. UCF over here in Orlando popped open and they got COVID cases out the ass. Out the ass. So, I mean, I can only imagine, man. School is starting back up. It started here last week for certain areas. And man, these fucking kids, man. You just gotta hope that they stay safe and hope for the best, because I'm glad I don't gotta make that decision right now. My son is too young for it, but I am glad I don't have to. I know there's some of these ages where they're at. These are pivotal years in the success of their you know, their brain
Development.
development,
Yeah.
and lack of these years, and lack of physical on face to face and on site teaching can be critical to that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I see people with their kids, and I see them taking the pictures, and you know, my kid was here this week, and
Florida
they got
doing the first day of school pics.
some of them, some people, but more so, like I saw a few people saying, "Hey, my son or my daughter, met their teacher today," and things of that nature. Um, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if I could do that. I just don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough that Maryland is doing the virtual thing. You know, like you spoke of, and I spoke about this with somebody really recently, that you know, social development for kids at a certain age is key, it's pivotal. Luckily for me, my kids are a little older, but yeah, I was talking to a lady, man. I was talking to a lady who lives in a neighborhood, pretty decent, affluent neighborhood in Baltimore City, and a lot of her neighbors are well-off white folks, and they send their kids to this private school. And it's just funny because, you know, being around there, I haven't seen this school being opened up. I haven't seen anybody coming in and out to clean, and you know, they're sending their kids back to school. And the thing about that is, you know, you're thinking in your belief that, you know, you're paying this money for this school and everything's going to be top notch, and you're already only sending them there to keep them away from the undesirables, right? But they haven't been cleaning shit. They haven't been doing nothing. They're not even one of the top tier educational places in the city. But, you know, because people think that their money is going to insulate them from this virus, they're sending their kids to school. And shit is just wild. You know, I don't even know how you play with your kids' well being like that. For what? You know, if they don't have to be there, what purpose? You know, and a lot of young kids are still going to daycares. You know, daycares have still been open. So if your kid is young enough, chances are you might have them in a daycare, you know, early on. So that's kind of been what that is. But and how do you
Yeah,
even, you got the test? How do you even imagine? How could you even imagine, you know, your little one getting that test?
I don't. I don't like. Listen, I wouldn't like my kid would not get tested. I would just assume that if I test positive, we're gonna treat it as if he got it.
Right.
I'm not putting him through that, and not at his age, because he don't understand it, and he's not gonna stay still. He's not gonna allow somebody to put that shit up his nose. Like, it ain't going down like that for a fucking toddler, for a 2 year old, and even if he was 5 years old, you know, or 6 years old, like, how do you explain to a kid, hey, we need to stick this um Q-tip, small Q-tip up your nose to test you for something? Like,
To your brain.
yeah, man. Like, I'm not about that shit. And to Trevor's point, man, luckily places like Maryland, like Connecticut, New York, a lot of other places had plans. The plan that they had in Florida was herd immunity.
Mm.
Get everybody to get the shit, and let's see how that goes. The problem is Florida is a fucking retirement state. The bulk of the fucking people that live here are senior citizens. So we can't do that with this type of virus where people are dropping dead. You can't do it. Like, it makes no sense. Like, oh well, they're just kids, and most kids are doing okay, and it's only a 1% mortality rate, and we've only had a handful of kids die from it. Sure. What about those kids that live with their grandparents?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about those kids that have parents that have fucking COPD, heart failure, fucking lung problems, diabetes? You know what I mean? Like, what about those people?
Yeah. My sister's in her early 50s and in good health and a nurse, and she contracted it, and you know, her heart has not been the same.
Right.
It's like, whoa.
And we don't know the long-term effects to it. Like, right now they're saying Well, the people who do have the impact of, to their lungs where they might need a ventilator, they're going to have, probably 15 to 20% diminish lung capacity. Okay. Well, what about 2 years from now? What about 4 years from now? Because we have no clue. What about that 15% doubles to 30%? Then that 30% goes to 45% or 50% in 4 years after that. Now you could potentially be lowering somebody's potential lifespan, for what? Because we want to rush people back to school for political gain? Come on, man. We can't keep that going.
Yeah, and that's what I always continue to say. If this country truly wanted to care about one another, and we truly could trust the people in office on either side of the House or Senate, everything would have been shut down. Point blank, period. And we can make this party, president, whatever it is. It's just in nature. And like I was saying, even with Amazon and Essential and all of that, even certain things that are shut down, there's still so many people that are working these jobs because we feel like we need this stuff. And I get it, but in essence, man, when you care about human life, like you said, it may not be the 30-something-year-old, but it's the thing that they pass on to the 70-year-old. And it's sad. Like, you see Nurkic's grandmother passed away, and I don't know, man. It's nasty.
Yeah, for real. It's Sunday night, August 16th, and it's late night edition of the Castworthy podcast due to prior engagements. I obviously have not had a chance, because we've been potting, to see tonight's episode of P Valley.
Nor have I.
But are you caught up? Have you seen everything up to?
Yo, I have. And I have to say, it got a little weird for me.
It got a little weird, bruh.
Hey, yo.
Listen, I was sitting on the couch watching with my wife, and I was like, shit, show me a nipple or something. Like,
Ain't getting none of that.
it's too much. Like, I need you to show me something, because this shit is out of control.
Ain't getting none of that.
Bruh, they are.
Like, straight episodes, we ain't even see no nips, no none. It was like 2 straight.
Yeah. We ain't seen no nips, but we saw a lot of that other stuff.
Yeah.
We don't need to be seeing. I don't want to see. But aside from that, getting to the plot, what do you got on it? Are you still caught into it, or is it still just you waiting on Mercedes or Mississippi to just see some more buns at this point?
I'm always waiting. I'm always here for that. But I think at this point, and I caught myself feeling this way largely through that episode when it got a little too raw for me. It got a little too raw for me. I was like, I think I'm now just watching this show simply because I started. Because when they're in the jail, spoiler alert for anybody who watches P Valley and hasn't seen it, when they're in the jail scene and Mercedes and her mom, are fighting, and then she starts singing with the whole jail. I'm like, come on, man. So everybody locked up at this time could sing.
Yeah, it's a little OD. They so for those who don't know, P Valley is a show on Stars. The P stands for pussy. And it's about some strippers and the life that they live outside of just stripping. So it starts off great. I think it's maybe the 5th episode now or so, give or take. But there's more to it than just the nudity. Although the nudity keeps you coming back. Ms. Autumn. And but it's a good watch. It's a good watch if right now and you're in the pandemic and you've caught up on shit. The other thing about it is the casino part. So that's what's got me. Like that's the trail that I'm on. That's what I'm watching it for, because I want to see what's going to happen with that, how it's going to impact it. Seeing the corrupt mayor, and things of that nature is what's keeping me coming back to that show.
Really?
And Autumn.
Episode 6 is tonight. Yeah, of course, Autumn. Of course. Yeah, I don't know that the plot. I don't know that the plot is going to be so much, um, deep with that. But you now see Mercedes and Autumn now getting into the scams, and it's just they're going down this rabbit hole. And like you said, there is depth to it. Like you see the inside look of what these women could actually be going through. Mercedes has 20 stacks saved up. She's about to get into a life of just dancing and teaching young girls how to dance. And then her mother, who she entrusted with her money, dirt bags her. And then you see the dynamic of just the church pressure, the mom, the everything. And now she's at rock bottom. So it's like, how many of these women have ever been in this life and have tried to walk away, tried to get out, and something have happened? And then I was also kind of taken back how Mississippi's baby father was white.
Yeah, yo, that caught me off guard. I was watching it. I think his name was Dylan or some shit. No, it wasn't Dylan.
Something corny as shit.
Darren. I think it was Darren.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was something where I would have thought it was one of us. And and she walked outside, and I was like, "Well, where this nigga at? Where he at? He got a driver or some shit."
We're Trayvon.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you hit it on the nose, man. Is how many strippers are in that life with a plan, and they get so close to that plan, and something happens and just gets flushed down the toilet, and they're stuck, and they got to go back to it. Like, people pass a lot of fucking judgment on strippers and adult entertainers and things of that nature, but I feel like a lot of them, and maybe not all of them, some of them, they're just bum bitches. But
that was toxic.
But no, it's the truth. But a lot of them, they have a plan. Like, I'm gonna do this until this happens, and right before this happens, something worse happens. To your point, Mercedes, her mom steals her money. In real life, you might have some shit where you end up getting locked up because you're dealing with the wrong dude, or he gets locked up and you spend that little 15 stacks that you saved up, to get him out and get him a lawyer and stuff like that. And these bras they get caught up in bad stuff, and then it becomes a trickle effect. And I just think people don't understand and realize, for women that are independent out here, it's challenging. Like, it's not easy. And I think this show shows you that, there is more to it. And you have the one, she has a child. You have the other one she's OG and she's trying to get out. And you got the one who's just like, well, it's easy money. I'm gonna use it to clean my money, and let's see how it goes. Different just different looks at life, man. Different looks, different walks of life for different strippers. And then you got the white one, who her mom was like an addict. You know what I mean? She's, the white girl, she's trying to, get her mom or pain meds or whatever it seemed like. And, she's rushing her, and she sounds like, like her mom's a dope fiend. This is life. People don't understand. Like, these people have lives outside of, the strip life or whatever else they're doing.
Yeah. It's I've actually personally known two in my lifetime. Well, I've known a lot. I've known a lot more strippers than two.
Yeah, I was gonna say two last night.
No, I've known personally two. I mean, well, again, I've known more than two, but I've known personally two that both went to college with me and same time as me, and had their plan and did their thing, and now they're career women. And if you weren't there, you wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. I tell you, it's a funny story, man. It was my summer. It was this time, what, 2004. So it was this time 2004. It's the day before I'm going to summer camp for football, and we go to the local club. Shout out to Taste of Honey, no longer exists. Hempstead, New York, always a legendary spot. Me and my boys go there, and we sitting there, and I'm getting my dance for a little bit. My boy next to me, he getting his dance, and he just started hitting me like uncontrollably, like yo. I'm like, what, man? What do you want? He's like, yo, you about to go to Delaware State? Yo, she going to Delaware State too. I was like, I looked at her like, oh, so it was kind of crazy. But I didn't really, tell anybody about her or nothing like that. Kind of kept it confidential, as I talked to her about it. But it was just wild how that happened, in that moment. And like you said, a lot of folks got a plan, and this is just dancing, and it's not a long-term thing, and they just want to get it and get it out and get it done. And like you see here, man, Mercedes had that whole plan, and her mom's robbed her from the pulpit, man.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever known any strippers because I don't frequent those places. I'm a man of God, a son of God. Um, um, so
Wow.
I don't, not about. I don't do that. Not about that life. But I could only imagine, man. I can only
Incredible.
imagine.
Incredible, yo. You are incredible for that one, man. Incredible.
No new versus battles announced yet, huh?
I don't know. I like I said before, I don't know what Swiss and them are doing, yo.
Swiss and Swiss and Timbo. I see Timbo on fucking Instagram with his fucking workout videos with his trainer every day though. You got time for that, but you can't make a phone call and set up a battle. Like we sitting here, we thirsty now.
Yeah, and I mean, do you feel like this is slowed down a little bit in the sense that you know people are doing
Yes,
more now, and is that
yes.
reasoning, or they just really can't get people to do it?
No, I think it's potentially slowed down because um people are out. When you look at Instagram alone, um the what they call demon time isn't as as present anymore. And even just like the people that were running like those those wheel spin games and shit like that where you could fucking run a quick 20, get a slot, and if you win, you win $400 or some shit. Like those ain't even around no more. And I think it's solely because New York is scammers and they find a way to make money off of stuff. And I think because New York is outside again, it's slowed down.
Yeah,
But I think it's going to pick up. I think all of this stuff, all of life that we knew as quarantine picks back up when flu season comes back around, when cold season comes back around, and people are back in the house and inside because I think the numbers jump again. Not directly related to COVID, but I think specifically because in the cold, your nose runs. You're likely to do this. You're likely to do whatever.
hmm
Um, and people will do that in public, and maybe rub it on their shirt and then go grab a door handle or something like that. So I think the cases will jump again. I think we'll see quarantine and we'll see these types of things. We'll see people in the house again. But yeah, man, just without verses, it's I was hoping for another one or a big one.
Well, like my man Jamar was saying from one of our podcasts with him, interviewing him. He was saying a lot of stars are taking this for granted. This is an epic moment for you at a point in your career to still have and flourish from having your music being put out there, being relevant again. It's almost like a concert in the most intimate way possible. right? Like you're now getting a concert in the palm of your hand. You don't have to worry about 20,000 other people in front of you. You don't have to worry about the long lines. You don't got to worry about the nonsense. You can actually hear from the artist. You're then going to be watching the celebrities post about it and talk about it. And then the streams come from your music being relevant again. So a lot of these guys and ladies are not really taking this opportunity to really light up their careers. And like I said, I think a lot of it is because you are now getting this intimacy from these people that are highly ego driven. They don't want to be on there and somebody say, well, they lost, or this person done cleared them out, or whatever. It's a lot of egos involved, man. And your point of New York, where a lot of the heavy bass probably could be said to be coming from, is going back out and about. And if not, we at least know that Swiss is a New Yorker, so a lot of that could be an influence as well. But I just think too, they also focus on trying to get people that actually like each other. While Two Chains and Ross may not have been the greatest picks, they are friends, so they were able to have them in the same room, which avoids the technical difficulties. It avoids, the nonsense. And if anything, you might get a good show. I think they lack a lot of people that might be really cool with each other, that might be willing to do this, because we did the 50 versus Cam thing, but you ain't getting 50 and Cam in the same room. It ain't happening.
Yeah. I mean the Drake Kanye, the Jeezy and Ross, which is what people really wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just isn't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And but they did. I mean, Timberland did say, he went on and he said he's got a big one coming. And I hope they give it to us. Like I'm waiting for it. But yeah, to your point, it's a concert. But did you see this one here, where the images came out and there was a concert in the UK, and this is how they socially distanced it?
Pretty interesting.
I'm for it. I am for it. Like, listen, me, you, and like me and two of my friends, or me, my wife, and two of our friends decide we're gonna go together, and we know for sure we're good to go. We got our little fucking little area, whatever that is.
Right.
All right. It's just, my question is, how did they get them in there? How did they file them in, and how did they file them out? Right.
Right.
To keep them distance. But I mean, you even have the one, if you look at Shorty in the middle row, who's got the mask on, she kind of works there.
Uh-huh.
Directly to her right, there's a girl in the thing by herself.
In jail.
She went by herself. She a loner gone lone. You know what I'm saying? But I'm for it. You know what? That looks extremely interesting to me. I would be down for that.
That's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
It's distanced. You're around your direct individuals. I mean, it's never going to be perfect again, man. I'm pretty sure we're at that point now where it's never going to be perfect again. We've talked about it. Life has changed. Life is different as we know it. It is going to continue to be different for the remainder of our days. And so it really comes down to adapting. And if you're not adapting and you're not keeping up with it and catching up with it, then you're going to be left the fuck behind. And now is the time to change life as it's known for you and your family. And if you're not on board with it, you're going to turn into a hermit. You're going to get real bored.
Yeah. Yeah. Life as we know it definitely has changed. Definitely has changed.
So, what else is going on, man? Anything else going on in the world, in life?
I watched the new Jamie Foxx Netflix movie the other day.
I didn't see that.
It's called The Power something. Power shit. Project Power. It's called Project Power.
Project Power. Okay. How was that?
For Netflix film, and Netflix has been kind of spot on for me, Netflix film wise lately. Um, it was okay. I didn't dislike it. It was underwhelming. It was background noise at times for me. The plot was kind of a little off center to me. Not a little off center, but it could have been a little better. I think they'd have done better trying to set certain things up, but it was okay. I didn't dislike it. I didn't really expect much from it either. Um, Although Jamie Foxx is a hell of an actor, I didn't really expect much from it, but it wasn't one of the better joints. The old guard is still number one for me, followed by Extraction and everything else.
I got to get back into some shows. I've been engulfed in Ozark right now. Have you watched it?
I couldn't get past a certain episode. I couldn't. Did you have to force yourself to get through it?
It was almost like Game of Thrones, where like with Game of Thrones, it took me about 7 times starting the first episode until I got caught, and then once I was caught, I was in there.
Hmm.
Ozark, it took me a couple episodes, um, but eventually, like maybe 4 or 5 episodes in, I started to want to know what was going on with the characters, and then it started to blend really nicely. And I am on the final season that's out right now, which is season 3, about halfway through, and they're only 10 episode seasons, so they're not horrible. It's not horribly long, but I've been caught on that, and I'm trying to finish that up, and then I'm gonna probably pull out the Fire Stick because Wentworth started in Australia. I don't know if you've ever watched Wentworth, but it is a Australian version of Orange is the New. Yeah, but to me, it's better, and I liked it. I loved it actually. I'm extremely stuck on it, and the way they do it is they release on Australian TV, and then it comes to Netflix after the season's over.
Mm.
But I've heard that it hit Australian TV, and usually when that happens, you can find somebody who's streaming it or has uploaded it. And so, as soon as I finish Ozark, that is the plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried Wentworth. I couldn't stay glued to it. The same way I did Orange is the New Black. September though. Well, actually today, a new HBO series comes out with the Smollett sister and the guy from the Five Bloods. I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically something similar to
Jesse
like,
Smollett,
no,
sister.
his sister, yeah, his sister, right. Love is called Lovecraft Country. That premiered today, and it takes place, I believe, like in the either the 60s or a little bit older, and then there's like something, it's like a sci-fi twist to it. So I'm gonna dig into that. So you got Journey Smollett and you got Jonathan Majors, who are the two main characters on that show. So I'm definitely gonna catch that. um Perry Mason, I tried to watch episode one, and then I got
Ugh,
distracted. So I'm gonna try to go back to that, and
I
then
couldn't do it. I could not do it.
can stick with it.
I gotta sit down. I think for me to catch Perry Mason is gonna have to be like when I'm on vacation, maybe, or like around holiday time when I'm just sitting there late at night wrapping gifts or some shit, and everybody else is asleep, because that first episode, I couldn't get through it. I had to turn it off.
I couldn't either. I was watching it, and I got distracted and I couldn't do it. But next month, you get some more action from Ghost and Interim
Yeah,
Power
yeah.
Book
Stars
2.
is talking about book 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Power Book
Okay,
2.
I'm interested. I'm interested. Um, I don't think it's the original actors, right? It's other actors.
You got Tariq, you got Tasha, and then you're adding Mary J. Blige and Method Man into the mix. You got Sax coming back, who I don't think gets enough credit for the fuckery that he's done on that show. Um, but yeah, so you got that element. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I'll play.
I'm gonna watch. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna watch. But I got to see how it goes. There was something else that I wanted to watch. Oh man, I can't remember. Off the top of my head, but I will be on Wentworth. Shout out to Trevor in the comments. Yes, Wentworth is the shit. Um, and Ozark is the shit as well now. Jason Bateman, man. Jason Bateman's come such a long way.
Yeah.
Man, like he might be one of my favorite actors. Like when I watch movies with him and shows with him, like I really feel like whatever he's trying to get off, like whether it's anger, whether it's fear, like he's good, man. He is a very good actor. He's come a long way since wasn't he in like 90210 or some shit? What was Bateman
I
back
don't
in the
remember
day?
him being in anything that far, but I remember the romantic comedies that he's done. Like he had the joint with Jennifer Aniston, and he had different joints. I don't remember how far his acting career goes back, but it's possible because he's an older guy. He's like 51, but yeah, man. I mean, even well, yeah, he's been on since the 80s. So he was acting as early as Little House on the Prairie.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah,
I don't remember him there. I was fairly young during
yeah.
that time.
Of course. I think those are like the later episodes though, like the 80s episodes. But yeah, he's been around, man. Horrible Bosses. I just watched the joint with him and Jennifer Aniston, The Switch, and then he had to break up. He's done like a lot of comedic dramas and not comedic drama.
Damn, he was on Mr. Belvedere.
Yeah, he's been around.
Shit,
He's been
I need
around,
to
man.
go back. Speaking of which, Mr. Belvedere need to be on one of these like Hulu or some shit. Somebody need to pick that up. Mr. Belvedere was that shit.
They're speaking of being picked up. There's now a new buzz of some type of, I don't know if you can call it a reboot, but a new show with a twist like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but like a more serious kind of drama. There's a lot of talk about that coming around. So yeah, I mean, but getting back to Bateman, I think he's a hell of an actor, man. And yeah, I got to try to get through Ozark. I'm gonna definitely try to do that.
Yeah, you got to go back to it. Give it the old attaboy. And you'll get into it. Like once you start to see like how the cartel mixes into it and shit, you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna watch this shit.
Yeah, dude that plays the cartel boss, he's a pretty damn good actor, man. He's been Deadpool, not Deadpool. He's been shit. What's his name? Slade Wilson. Damn, I can't think of Deadshot. Not Deadshot. Fuck. Can't think of his name, but can't think of the character's name, and I'm terrible for that. But he's played a couple different roles. He's a pretty good actor. But shout out to AMC. AMC this weekend was playing all of the old mob movies. So Godfather 2, Goodfellas was on before we started potting. And I'm just
Nice.
like, man, this shit is classic stuff, man. Al Pacino, in his prime, man. Like phenomenal script, phenomenal movie. I was just looking at the scene where he slaps the shit out of Kay after she told him he aborted the baby. She aborted the baby. I was like, oh shit, man. Fucking phenomenal.
Speaking of AMC, AMC theaters are going to be opening back up on the 20th abroad, mostly abroad.
Mm.
And then they'll be moving back over to or opening up here in the United States. So I'm interested to see what I mean, nothing has come out about what measures they're going to take to keep people safe. But I'm interested. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I probably won't go, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love the movies just like anyone else. Shit, I worked for AMC at one point, so I'd be interested to see what happens as well. Oh man.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Kamala Harris. Trevor just brought that up. I think we kind of skimmed past that.
New VP
What's your
pick.
take? What's your take?
Um,
VP.
man. No, you got it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say she's got the VP nominee. What do you think? I see. So the one thing I do see is I see how hypocritical people are.
Mhm.
When I say hypocritical, I go back and I just been perusing through the internet and I
I know exactly
see
what you're gonna say.
no. I know what you think I'm gonna say, but I see Trump supporters and I see them talking about, well, look at that, you guys are supporting someone that put away innocent black people. And all I could think is, now they're innocent black people. A month ago it was, fuck them, if they get shot by the cops they shouldn't be resisting arrest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just feel like and then so that's that side of it. And then I see our side of it, and I feel like black people are just cutting off their nose to spite their face. Like I see so many people that are just like, oh, she's not the right one. Oh, there's no way. Look at her. She's got a white man. No, there's no way she should be the pick. She was in law enforcement. There's no way. She comes from a slave master. Down the line of her family tree. Oh my gosh, she's not even really black. Like,
Shit is crazy.
you listen, your choice is somebody that looks like you in Kamala, or somebody who doesn't like people that look like you in Trump and Pence.
Kamala Harris, I was outspoken about how I felt about her when it came to her running for the Democratic lead. I don't like her prosecutorial history. Um, I don't like a lot of the things that she was tied into, as being in charge of you know um, law enforcement out there in Cali. I was open about that. I was adamant about that, especially when it came to being a Democratic nominee. I wanted Bernie to win. Um, but Joe, I've been critical of Joe and how I felt like, he hasn't been sharp. He's been saying stupid shit continually. It's kind of like whoever this PR person is that's doing things for him needs to tighten up. With all of that said, would I want 4 more years of Trump? No, hell no. And unfortunately, it's a two-party system right now. Um, and a lot of people are saying, well, I have to make the choice between the lesser of two evils. Yeah, you do. You know what I mean? It's just kind of that simple. And unfortunately, that's what it is. And we also know that that's why it's important to, have your local government in order. Kind of know what your local government is going to be. The fireworks
Yeah,
being popped off in Baltimore City right now. Don't ask me why, but it is.
it's summertime. Um, yeah, it's lesser of two evils. It's like, what people don't understand is, like, it's going to the roulette table and only having black or red to choose.
Yeah.
You don't have one, you don't have 25, you don't have your favorite number 17. Like, all of that shit's not gonna work for you. And if you do go that route, it's risky and you might be stuck with the piece of shit that's already there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Trevor's asking, Trevor's asking, why Bernie? And I don't know that he wouldn't even say Black Lives Matter. I don't know that he didn't say that. I don't know what, if I even needed him to say that. Again, you got to look for what your vested interests are, right? This dude was talking about no student loans, you know, shit that matters to me.
Tied you to it.
You know what I'm saying? Shit that matters to me. And I just thought he was sharper than Biden was. Biden's political history, even coming from Delaware, and just the things that he's been tied into, hasn't been the greatest. I even wanted Liz to win. If not Bernie, I wanted Liz or Bernie to win, just because of their progressive nature and the things that they're trying to do for the middle class people and the people that look like myself. So at some point, we as a people have to look into our vested interests, right? And the thing about it is, these people are all politicians. You can say whatever you want to say about any of them. They may not give a shit about anybody. Doesn't matter what they say. Doesn't matter what they try to align or front like they want to align to. Some things at some point you gotta say, what is it that I'm aligned with? What is it that represents me? If you're somebody with student loans, if you're somebody with other things that these people are pitching, naturally you're gonna want to go with what they're talking about because it pertains to you. Again, with Trump in office, we're seeing this dictator move. We're seeing the racism. We're seeing how it's just emboldening these people that have been in the closet for years. And we know we can't deal with this shit anymore. That's just what it is. Now, if we're talking about who is going to win on the other side, you got to align yourself with what you feel aligned with. Like, that's just what it is. You don't know what these people are honestly and actually ever going to do. You just got to go with what the fuck you think is going to work for you. It's that simple. And we try to get so professorial with it and so deep with this, and well, it's because of this and it's because of that. Listen, man, at the end of the day, it's still going to be politics as usual. There's still checks and balances. There's still the Senate. There's still the House. I need to know if this person is going to remotely do something that's going to benefit me. Bottom line.
I just want somebody in there that's not going to say something to make the rest of the world hate us. Like, that's where we've lived for the last 4 years. Like you said, we got the Senate, we got the House, we got a bunch of other people that play huge parts. Local government is probably more important than the presidency anyway at this point, because of the impact that it's going to have to me, my family, and my neighborhood. But I do want someone in there representing me or my country, the country that I live in, that is not going to get out there in front of people and say stuff to make, one, the rest of the world hate us, and two, put the people in this country at odds and make again, where we started earlier, white people hate black people right now, black people hate white people right now, and it's not even, and I don't even think it's genuine racism. Like, I don't think all of it is genuine racism. Some
From
of it,
Trump
yes.
or his supporters.
I mean us as Americans. I think you see, white people that are screaming the all lives matter. I don't like, I get it. Like, I don't understand how their brain works, but I don't think they're genuinely racist. Is it potential? Is there potential behind it to say, how do you not understand that this is a racist? It could be portrayed as a racist statement, but I don't think there's genuine racism behind it. I just don't. I think it's just, you have Trump in there, who I think he is racist. I think he's racist, but I think the hate that we have mustered up as a people, black people, towards white people, that is coming out right now, I don't think it's racism. I don't think we hate them. I think we're being forced to portray like we hate them because we're on defense right now. We've always been a forgiving, extremely thankful people. Like, I was watching, and I'll go into it real quick. This will be a quick story. I was watching MLB tonight. I was watching Yankees in Boston, and they were talking about 100-year anniversary of the Negro Leagues. Shout out to them. 100-year anniversaries today for Negro Leagues. And they opened up a museum. I want to say it's in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Check that. I could be wrong.
I believe that is what
And
the Negro Leagues Museum is. I believe
and
that.
the gentleman that I think his name is Bob Kendrick or Dave Kendrick that champions it. He was being interviewed, and he's like, "Oh, we got this up and running, yada yada yada," and he's like, "Thank you so much to." And the different organizations and stuff for backing him and getting it up and running and stuff like that. Like we shouldn't have to kiss people's fucking feet, you know, for them to recognize the greatness of athletes that were before us and before the athletes that exist today, whether they're black, white, or indifferent. He shouldn't have to be on there. Thank you so much. Like, fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. We're fucked up as a
Well,
society right
I mean, again, I think like politics, people become tone deaf, and we don't realize the reality and the nuances. When you talk about racism, and you talk about what racism is at the core, um, I've had a college professor tell me a long time ago, black people can't be racist because to be racist, you have to have one the power to restrict another people from the basic necessities of life. So racism comes into play when, as a black person, you're telling me, as a white person, you're telling me as a black person that I can't get access to equal education, drink at this water fountain, or do this. And by law, that is enforceable, right? We can have racist ideals, we can think that way, but then when you go to the core of what racism actually is, it was developed literally from the Caucasian side, Caucasoid side of people saying that black people are inferior to that of white people, that so much so that we are not humans. So I don't think black people have ever had the ability to do that in this country. Now you can argue and say that we might think that now, to say, hey, white people are such savages that they're not humans, which might be a racist ideal. Are we prejudiced? Very much so. We can be very prejudiced. Hence why people call all Spanish people Mexicans, and that's not true. But I do believe a lot of these Trump supporters are inherently racist. We forget, and you talked about this before, whether we let our guard down, whether we got naive, whatever it is, we forget that for centuries now, for decades now, this ideal of racism, this practice, the lynchings, the hatred, the killings, you had the attempted lynching in Tennessee. These things were passed down from generation to generation to generation, and it doesn't go away that easily. So there are literally people out here in the KKK, white supremacists, that truly feel like they hate black people. They truly know it and they practice it. Then there's the other element of class. So I was watching Mississippi Burning today, and it was that point in time where he tells the story about his father and how his father hated the black guy for having the mule. And his father just didn't realize that, you know what, I'm a poor white guy and I gotta hate somebody. Whether the guy's racist or not, the class issue is a problem. People that are uneducated, they don't have what other people may have. So because they haven't done what they needed to do to get themselves together, because this is a capitalistic society, right? We don't have all of the same stuff. They gotta hate somebody. And how easy is it for you to hate somebody that doesn't look like you, that you want to blame for everything wrong in this country? So a lot of it is class and racism, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're fucked up, man. And my biggest thing is, regardless of uh Kamala Harris, we've talked about it before, and she wasn't my favorite when she was um
Running for
you
president.
know running for president. But given the choice, I mean, she's a lifetime politician. Any career politician is not gonna be the best choice. It's just the way it goes. We understand that and we get that. But you know, lesser of two evils. I support Joe. I support Joe 100% specifically because he was around Obama. So the crazy shit that he does say, and the stuff that people try to portray as, oh well, Joe ain't for black people, or how could Joe feel so comfortable that he says this about black people? Yeah, that shit don't mean nothing to me. You might sway some other people, but you're not gonna sway me on that, and that's just me. So I do support him, and if it ain't him, it's nobody for me. So
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
he's
Anybody
vote.
anybody against Trump, whoever has the best chance against Trump is who I'm voting for. Whether it was Joe, whether it was Elizabeth Warren, whether it was fucking the Chinese tech guy, Asian tech guy, like whoever it was, that's who's getting my vote. So
Yeah, and I think that's again where we become tone deaf in politics. We are such a people today that we just can't hear shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can say we're critical of Harris. We can say we've been critical for Harris, but we're still telling you we're gonna vote for Harris and Biden. But we have become so tone deaf that it's like, if you're not saying or aligning exactly with what I think, you're not right. And I can't listen to nothing you're saying. It's just like me and Eric have been going at VP for the longest about how we felt about Biden. Listen, we're still voting for Biden, but he needs to shut the fuck up sometimes. He needs to get a PR review of the shit he's going to say sometimes. Although it's not maybe going to matter in the scheme of things, we can still be critical of that shit. Period. Like, this is where we come to in a country and a nation where we can't be critical of anybody or anything. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna vote for Biden again. I'm gonna vote for Harris again. But if the motherfucker saying some dumb shit, saying some dumb shit. Period. Like, it's what it is. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy how, truly as a people, when do we ever get galvanized to get behind one another and understand, hey, gay rights might be your biggest concern because you're gay. Feminist rights might be biggest thing because you believe in feminist things. I believe that black males should be more valued in this country. And when are we gonna just say, you know what, I don't agree with everything you say, but for the good of the common good, we're gonna get together on this. And I think that's where the right has continued to kick our ass. The Tea Party came together, created itself, and galvanized and took over that party. Like you were saying, you don't think people are truly racist, and maybe they're not. A lot of these people may just be poor and they may not be racist, but you know what, they may support this racist person because they think he's speaking to them, when in all reality he's really not. So they're getting behind something. We, as on the left, we have the people that know better, that are too elite. You got the people in the middle that are too tone deaf to really see, hey, you can be critical, you can desire more from your local politicians. Then you got the other people that may not be educated at all, who are not voting at all because their life circumstances, they don't really see the importance of it. And the top people, that this elite group that should be trying to talk to these people, they're too busy at the CBC in DC talking to other rich elite people that look like them. So it's just like, while Trump, it may not represent or may not look like or reflect his base, the poor people still galvanized behind what he's saying.
Yep. Um. Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know where we're going. From here, I know that election day is coming. Trump is doing everything in his power, he and the Republicans, to make it as difficult as possible to vote. And so, there's memes on the internet, and they're meant to be funny, but it is 100% true. Get your ass in your car, drive to the whitest neighborhood with the best fucking lawn, and put your ballot in the box there. Don't put your ballot in the box on fucking in the hood, because those are gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Just what it is. It is what it
And
is.
the mailboxes being taken away, and
And do it
this
early.
shit is nuts.
Do it early. It needs to be there. It needs to be on time, man. Like, this is the same. We said it last week. This is probably the single most important election of our lifetime. This will shape the face of this country for a very, very long time if we have to deal with another 4 years of what we just dealt with.
God, I hope not. God, I hope not. That's nasty.
Yeah, man. What else is on my? Do I got anything on the list? Let's see. Talking about Republicans, they don't give a shit about COVID, police brutality, or school shootings. But that one white kid got shot by the black guy, and now it's justice for Connor or whatever his name was. No kid deserves to die. No kid deserves to die. But when school shootings happen, you ain't there. But because a black man killed a white kid, y'all there.
Well, the thing about that too is, the fact of the matter is, to what I understand, the guy's been arrested and he's gonna face the law. I said this before. Folks are still saying, arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. I don't know that we're ever gonna see that. It's too many layers in this. It's too many loopholes. It's too many ways for these guys to get out. Not to mention all the seemingly administrative blunders and cover-ups that are going on, with the warrants, the orders, to just everything that has happened. I don't know what we're really gonna see from this, other than Louisville being ordered to, or maybe deciding to pay the family for her loss. But I don't know that we'll ever get to see these guys arrested. It's just so much going on with that. I don't know. And it's truly sad. It's truly sad. But back to that point, the guy was arrested and he's going to be prosecuted.
Yep.
There is your justice right there.
He'll be held accountable. It's funny though that they call for his death and his killing, which I agree with. I agree with it wholeheartedly. But the ones who didn't have any problem with Breonna Taylor, listen, real quick, see how things change. But yeah, where we go ahead.
You know what that's about, though. It's creating an answer to counter, the larger narrative. And anybody, I have one white friend that I saw post some shit like that, and it seems like she posts it and then she retracts it. If you can't see how this doesn't correlate, then again, this goes back to the covert. This goes back to the inert, the undercover racists. It goes back to all of these things, man. And it's just it's evident, man. When we have these issues with police brutality, with our culture and our people, and we can't get decent human beings to support our movement. And I'm not even talking about the Black Lives Matter organization. I'm talking about the movement of itself, right? Two different things. It just speaks to the larger issue that people just don't want to admit that they're racist.
They're just mocking. They're mocking us. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They're mocking us. All right, man. Did we leave anything off?
Not that
I think we touched everything. No.
not that I could think of.
All right. Well, so I'll take us up out of here then. Anything you want to say before we get out of here? Before I get us up out of here?
Man, continue to stream us. Continue to listen to us. Spreaker, Spotify, Google Pods, Apple Pods, iHeartRadio, YouTube, tons others. Continue to listen to us, man. Pick up that Spreaker following, just to see what happens here. But yeah, man, like us, share us, subscribe.
Yeah, definitely. Subscribe, like, share, follow. Website coming soon with the merch, the hats, the shirts. Oh, that was a bar, huh? I'm a poet and didn't know it.
Killing them.
Um,
Killing them.
shit, I just need 15 more. Get this check. Yeah, so all the spots EJ talked about, man. Listen, like, follow, support. It's free. We all we asking you to do is support. We're not asking you to spend no money, man. You spend a lot more money elsewhere. You sit there and you copy, you paste these memes and these stories about Kim Kardashian and shit. You don't know this bitch. Rock with us, man. But yeah, to Vari's point, the way he outs it. Happy birthday to VP as one thing I don't think we discussed. I said it real quick earlier, but
Buffalo Vari. Happy birthday, man.
Buffalo V. No more research.
Who
Gotta
pushed
re-earn that.
Who pushed Vari?
Yeah, hashtag. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody who's paying attention, who's liking, who's commenting, who's texting us, sharing.
Definitely Trevor, faithful viewer.
Trevor, viewing, taking part in the dialogue, in the conversation. We appreciate that. Keeps us fresh. But we're here, man. We will be here every week. I'd like to tell you a specific time, but VP and EJ, they do their own thing. So
listen, you ain't never on time anyway, bro. You ain't never on time, bro. Never.
Until I get some people that can show up on time, I can't give you guys a scheduled time, but just keep an eye out for us. Turn the alerts on.
That's crazy.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys coming and listening, liking, following. Everything that you've done has led you to us. We're here, man. We're here for it. If you have a topic that you'd like for us to talk about, send us the information. DM us. Text us if you know us personally. Hop in on the Facebook chat like Trevor does and drop your comments. We'll share the comments. We'll put them up there, man. We that's what we're here for, man. All them things that come to you while you guys are taking a shit and you're wondering, damn, am I the only one that thinks about this? Great commentary. Shit to talk about on the podcast. But other than that, man, shout out to VP. Happy birthday to you, sir. And arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. And we'll get back at you next week. Peace.
Peace.